Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Oh tonight, oceans apart. We are oceans, I am dancing by myself. Keep you company.
Hey, you shit, nigga, you a bitch, nigga. Fuck you and everybody you with, nigga. I put my nigga in my fist, nigga. Look at Mario, he a rich nigga. And all this, I make statements. Play with me, she gon' get crazy. The link got me driving Miss Daisy. Won't take this shit off you for gazing. Get that me a kush blunt, couple lean in the booth. Pussy nigga, I'm the truth. I'm acting like I never had shit, driving the coupe. Throwing money out the roof. She call me over on Smash and then I go poof.
What's going on, YouTube, man? You already know who it is, man. It's Savior Shows, the best lightning man I heard, man. We back to show another video, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it today. Let's talk about the Golden Joystick Awards. Let's talk about Death Battle. Let's talk about the death battle between Clyde Rossfield and Dante from Devil May Cry. And you know, it was a cool, calm little death battle. Even though I don't like death battle, none whatsoever. You know, and you know, there's like, well, because they get a lot of things wrong. But lately they haven't been too wrong, you know. Obito being able to use his, you know, I didn't see the death battle, but apparently Obito can use his, you know, Kamui during, I've never seen any scaler say that he can do that. They've always said he can't because we have no proof that he can do it. They just assume that since he still has his Sharingan, he just chooses not to use it. You know, that's a fallacy within itself, bro. You know, to assume these things, that's headcanon. We only go off of proof, not because we think something works that way. But let's talk about the Golden Joystick Awards. I think that'll be a little quicker to talk about because I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Ben Starr's an excellent performer. I liked his I think like one of my favorite characters in Exhibition 33 is Verso, and Renoir are probably my favorite characters in Exhibition 33. I like Gustav too. He cool. I think Mael and CL are probably like my favorite female characters in there, other than the Paintress herself and Clea, obviously. You know, stern, strong, no nonsense taking woman. You know, taking on the gay writers. You know, that's crazy. Taking on the gay ass writers. You know. But anyway, I wish there was a way we could play as her, but you know, I understand why she was not in the story. You know, I just hope that the next like Exhibition 33 Part 2 or whatever isn't identically politicked up because of what Miss English said about she chose Queer Joy, and Queer Joy was part of the driving reason why her and her fiance, when she was able to voice Mael. I'm like, you shouldn't even put that in your mouth, saying that you were able to voice Mael for those reasons, because there's nothing gay about Mael in that game, and Mael's not a love interest for anybody. She's a 16-year-old girl that lost her father figure. That's who she is, bro. Let's call a spade, bro. You shouldn't be looking at that character that way. You know, and 16 years old, ooh, bro. Really?
Take you to your guard.
Come on, bro. I mean, it shouldn't surprise you, because I don't know if any of y'all remember that movie called Sweeties that almost was a thing. You know, but that's part of the left-leaning ideology. They don't care about kids. They don't care about none of that. They push gender-affirming care on children. You know, New York is a hellhole. You know, pushing gender this, gender that, mutilating kids. You know, it's crazy. I hope this video don't get demonetized for that verbiage I just used. But you know, it's the truth though. You know, and if somebody wants to argue about it, I hope you can be as articulate as I am, or more articulate than me, because I would love to have a debate, and you know, we could talk about it. But you know, that's not going to happen because a lot of people, you know, they're scared to talk. You know, unless they're talking about how cute a guy is or a twink, they're scared to talk. They don't want to talk. You know, it's just like or when I asked one of the players, you know, like, so like, what's interesting about Tifa, and it's like, well, nothing. What then why do people like her so much? Well, because the way she looks and her sex appeal. That's why they like her, not because of who she is. You know, she's probably one of the worst written characters inside of Final Fantasy. Easily one of the worst written characters in Final Fantasy. She's like, I'd say Sakura is better written than her from Naruto, because at least Sakura was successful. Because the way it's leaning, Cloud seems to have actually liked Aerith. And just because Cloud may have kissed Tifa, that doesn't mean that, like, if you seen the ending, or the ending about Final Fantasy, you know, Rebirth, have you even seen the ending of that? You know, that very bad Final Fantasy game. That, you know, and there are people out there praising it, and you dare not speak illy of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You better not speak illy of it, because, you know, it's their gospel game. It's what they wake up every day and breathe air for. You know, is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and looking at Cloud's chest and Tifa's flat ass. You know, sorry for swearing, Lord. You know, look at those things all day. You know, it's so crazy. You know, I guess that's somebody's cup of tea somewhere. You know, but anyway, man, let's get into the death battle, bro. I told y'all willpower manipulation was a thing. I told you it was. But y'all don't say so, don't know what he talking about. Say so, don't know what he talking about. Yeah, man, I don't know nothing about power scaling, right? Saitama can sit the you know what down. Sit him down before he gets sat down by me and Lightning. Before we sit him down. Giving you a chance. Sit down before you get sat down, little boy. We drag Tifa down the street by her hair. I'll show you how to beat a bitch. Sorry, I'm sorry for swearing, Lord. I'm passionate right now. I'll show you how to beat that, you know what. And not in the way that people think it.
That makes us strong.
You know. But man, I'm saying is, man, it's like Clive, you know, like both of these characters, like it came down to endurance and willpower manipulation. Even though not so much willpower manipulation, but mainly endurance, because Devil Trigger and Devil Trigger Sin can be overtaxed, as it's been overtaxed by people who are relative to him in strength. And even though he has a healing factor, but that he's mainly healing from people who aren't as strong as him. He isn't healing from people who are like as strong as him or drastically stronger than him, bro. Consistently without it getting overtaxed. And just because he heals once or twice, you know, he runs out of that heal faster than Clive runs out of his energy to beat him. We see willpower manipulation in Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns as well. Benavelza says, "Oh, she's so bright. I can't keep up." You know, she starts to overwhelm him, just like Clive overwhelms Ultimalius. You know, he starts to have this mental dialogue within his head, or like the typical good guy thing, right? But now it's an actual power up that they use for Final Fantasy characters. You know, they get drastically stronger, and it is relevant against opponents that are drastically stronger than them. That they can get drastically more powerful all over time within a short period of time to be able to beat people who are at least a tier above them. Which is, you know, I guess that depends on the tier, because the gap between multiversal and universal is unquantifiably different. You know, just like I forgot what I was saying, but you know what I mean? Like, it was clear cut. The fight itself looked cool. I don't like death battles. I never liked death battles. I probably like a debate. You know, more than a death battle, because it's kind of like it's only for entertainment purposes, right?
That makes us strong.
And it's like, I don't like death battle because of their inconsistency. I mean, like, of course you can get one right eventually, but then it's like they are very inconsistent. Dark Vader losing to Obito Uchiha? Are we serious, bro? Dark Vader somehow loses to Obito Uchiha. We talking about Final Fantasy Rebirth. Sephiroth winning against Devil May Cry 5 Virgil? Multiversal versus a universal being? Versus, well, no, not even that. Which interpretation of Sephiroth are we using here? Because what version of him, other than being like multiversal now because of rebirth scaling, you know, what interpretation are we using? Because all others outside of Dissidia is what, like like solar system level? Super perfect sail? Laughably weak? A joke? Like, are we serious? Super perfect sail ain't strong. Dragon Ball Z don't get higher than multiversal? You serious? Nobody that I know talk about Dragon Ball Z. It says that they're higher than multiversal. Goku, right? Well, outside of Xeno Goku, which is crazy strong. You know, Xeno Goku is outrageous. But you know, that's like the only actually strong version of him that I can think of. Outside of Fortnite, Goku scaling is crazy too. But those are mainly like statements and not necessarily like actual scaling, you know. Like I said, the willpower manipulation is crazy, bro. Could you imagine that same willpower manipulation? Well, Lightning has it, and then it's on an outer versal being. You could say goodnight to Black Myth Wukong. You could say goodnight to Wukong as a whole. You could say goodnight to World Breaker Hulk. You could say goodbye to the one above all. Good night. Man. That's all the time we got right now, man. We'll catch you on the next one, man. I'll probably touch on this in the next one.
The messenger is standing at the gate, ready to let go, ready for the crash of the messenger. Too late for whispers, too late for the blush. The past is mercy when the future's glow. Kneeling journey dressed in the cloak of shadows. The hunting's grin for the innocent eyes. Communion spread is the devil. of sorrow.